EP's twist with me.
Come on,
Do
twist.
the EP's twist with me.
Come on,
Do
twist.
that EP's twist with me. Do the EP's twist with me.
Hi, it's Plastic EP here, and
Wally from the EPs.
good to see you. And Wally, this is our first show for EP's TV. How good is that?
That's very good.
And today we're going to talk about 60s collectibles, music collectibles, because Wally and I have been collecting music collectibles since the 60s.
And we all have our favourites and what we enjoy listening to. I'm sure all the fans out there have their own as well.
So what we're going to do is Wally's going to start off with his 5 top 60s albums and have a little bit about a chat of those. So if you want, Wally, talk about your 5 albums.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm a big fan of the Yardbirds, and on the website you'll understand that the major influences on the band. The Yardbirds was my first pick, and that came out in '66. It's a self-titled album. It was one they were forced into the studio to produce an album to compete against all the other bands, and they come up with some original material. The songs were very cleverly written, so there's a lot of variety on this album. Jeff Beck actually shines on the album. He's contributed the guitar. 2 versions come out in stereo and mono, different variants in tracks. And the album itself did make the charts. In Australia it hit #1 at one stage, and it still holds up today as a guitar album plus a good writing album because of the variance of sound. So I think that's my #1 album.
And well, I'll just ask you, for the new generations of people coming through that, let's say, didn't go through the 60s, what would be, let's say, your favourite track from that #1 album? Okay. What's your favourite?
This is a textbook guitar album for guitarists, but I mean everybody can enjoy. But if you're listening to guitar styles like Jeff's Boogie, and you've got tracks like Lost Women where they build up and create crescendos with the guitar. It's just fabulous to listen to. Something out of '66 which was, I believe, way ahead of its time compared to what was going on at that stage.
Okay, so we've got that one at #1.
Yeah.
And now we go to #2, Wally.
Yeah.
What's #2?
#2, I believe, the Stones, Hold Up. This is an album that the Stones put out as a compilation. It was supposed to milk the current singles, but the way they presented it and the tracks that they put on it and the packaging was just superb. We've got a book inside the actual album with pictures of the Stones, so for a fan it was tremendous, and it gave you just about every hit at the time, also '66, of their chart singles.
I've got that on CD actually, and see how it's got the original here in Australia.
Yeah.
When the albums came out, the LPs we used to call it in those days, it's got the word stereo there. Now that's something that came out of most of the albums here in Australia, and that's got like a gatefold sleeve.
Yeah, so they used to try and differentiate between the mono version to show people there was some confusion, because most records in '66 were mono, and this was just to show that this could be played as a stereo album. But all the hits are on here, and it was a very clever packaging to milk the publicity for them.
And what's your standout track on that one, Wally?
Well, Satisfaction's always been my standout track for the Stones. I think that's the best one they've written, and I think even Otis Redding, it sounds like it was written for him. He put a really good version out as well. So I think that's a good album.
Okay, that comes in at #2.
Yes.
And Wally, what have we got now at #3? Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Hold it up.
Okay.
And let me tell you.
All right.
Hold it up. Now that's obviously
Yes.
the Beatles,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Now the thing is, when the Beatles wanted to put this album out, the double white album, they actually wanted to do it in a brown paper bag. I don't know if you heard that story.
Yeah, they wanted a brown paper bag and they wanted it as a single album, and but they had too many songs and they couldn't work out what to put on a single album, so they just took it as a double album. But a lot of the albums came out with markings of limiting the amount specialised that come out. This one's got numbers on it, but it's only a printed number.
Yeah, that's
These
right.
ones were pre-stamped, and Molly Meldrum was rumoured to have an early album pre-stamped. But it came with the gatefold, pictures, everything in it. And you do well getting the CD as well, because you get the same thing, but there's pictures and posters enclosed, and it's very well presented, very nice poster. And these pictures, as they were, represent the band coming out. John Lennon never looked so better. Paul, looking pretty good.
So that's one of the original albums that came out.
Yeah, it's one of the original albums. I remember going down to the shop, and I paid $5.98 for this double album, which was a bargain. I don't know why it's $5.98. I thought it was worth a bit more, but I got it for $5.98.
Well, that was a bargain at $5.98.
Yeah.
$5.98 doesn't buy anything today.
No,
so that's in at number 3, the Beatles double white album.
Yeah, double white album.
And what have we got here at number 4? And I know this is one of your favourite albums.
Okay, now the Donovan album is a strange album because Donovan actually had a hit with Sunshine Superman when it came out, but he hadn't put an album out, and there's confusion between England and UK. The American one is the album that came out and they put the hits on it. The English one was slightly different tracks, but it's a very dreamy album and the music is really, really nice. I mean, you can sit this down and play it right through it, and it just puts you in this very nice mood. Yeah, and very good production on it too.
What's your favourite song on that album?
On this album, I think, well, Sunshine Superman was a hit, but I think there's a few others that I like to go back to, and they're very dreamy songs. If you put on Season of the Witch or Guinevere, they're very nice, really nice tracks to listen to. So,
okay, excellent. Now we're up to number
5.
Number 5. So you've obviously brought more than 5.
Yeah, I brought more than 5 because these two albums are unique. This is the American Jimi Hendrix first album, Are You Experienced, and that's the American one. Now the American one was altered and put the hit singles on like they normally do. The English one contains the tracks in the correct order, but the CDs now have all the tracks. So all the tracks represented of Hendrix is from that period. This album is so way ahead, no one's ever caught up to it. You can look at tracks now. This is a 1967 album, and we're too far ahead. It's just mind blowing. This album, the American album, they reproduced it once again. They do some good packaging now. Extra vinyl, give you extra pictures, give you posters. This is currently available. You can buy it in the shop. Get a nice poster and pictures of Hendrix. You can't beat this for reproducing Hendrix and everything like that. So that's one to look out for the current recycled vinyl people that like to keep buying the vinyl. But the album to me is just a milestone, and no one's caught up with it as far as writing and production wise. So that's way ahead.
That's great. So what have we got now in at number 7?
Okay, this album gets thrown around a lot. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people like it. Robert Plant says it's his best favourite album. There's a lot of artists that say they've been influenced by this album. Love, this is probably their 3rd album that they brought out. Arthur Lee was in a creative writing mood, and the writing on it is superb, but the orchestration, instrumentation is perfect, and it flows beautifully. They're the most strangest lyrics written on songs. There are lyrics like, "The snot has caked against my pants, it's turned to crystal," which is very odd for a 60s album to include lyrics like that. But the tracks are varied. There's a bit of heaviness in some of them and lightness in others. There's a classical Spanish feel about some of the tracks, and it flows. From start to finish, it actually flows as an album. So a lot of criticism about it, but I still think it holds up. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, Wally, that was your top 7 albums, LPs actually. Top 5, but we brought in 7 of the 60s. Yeah. Now I'd like to talk about music collectibles, and what I want to do is I'll talk about my own personal collection, and I'll start off with the Beatles, just to tell you a few things that I've collected since the 60s. This is an original colouring book, Wally. It was actually put out as a scrapbook.
Oh, very nice. And where did you pick that up from?
I was lucky enough to find that somewhere. I don't even remember half the time. But basically people put their photos of the Beatles in there, and it's still got scrapbook photos in there.
And this is meant no one's actually altered it or anything.
Well, the good thing is it's got a few pages in here.
Yeah.
Look, there's the Beatles with eyeliner.
Oh, that's,
you see that?
That's brilliant.
That's how they used to do it at theatre, in the theatre.
Yeah.
See that?
That's very good. So this scrapbook album, and all scrapbook albums are worth a lot of money now because they've been carefully prepared by fans who worship the artist, and it was their memento to have something of the artist plus contribute something to them. So that a very personalised setup to have.
Yeah, well, this obviously belonged to someone that was writing. I mean, have you seen that before?
No. No, Ringo's, yeah. Looking good.
That's really good. But I love the cartoon drawing out here, like the painting of them done like that style. It's really good.
That is good.
Okay, this is the Beatles' #1 comic book. Came out in 1964 from Dell. The difference with this one is, it's actually, instead of having American money, it's actually got £2.6. But the thing is, it actually says it's like the export version. That's what makes it so rare.
So
it's actually the export
version.
version.
Was it ever reproduced at another time? No, because this is something that didn't get reproduced.
No, it didn't get reproduced.
Right.
No. But the point is, it's got all their photos in there.
Well, very good comic too.
And it's in mint condition.
Yeah, that's the thing about these ones. They're in mint condition and they're very highly sought out.
And they tell the story.
So, in your view, or what you believe, what do you think this might be worth?
I don't know, but I think it could be worth anything up to any. Reasonably saying, I think it could be worth anything up to. I don't know, in my opinion, anywhere from American $600 up, because I think it's very, very rare now to find.
Yeah, and in such good nick. That's the thing. A lot of these collectibles you can find in different qualities, and the price will vary. The records are the same thing. They've got a way of working out how the quality depends on the price and everything like that.
Of course, it's also the market, what's out there in the market.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, you know, with having something from the 60s,
yeah,
they're not there anymore.
No.
And I've got to say something, with the Beatle collectibles, you've got to understand, here's the Beatles Yellow Submarine comic, which is pretty hard to get to.
That's very nice.
You know, I mean, where do you get them? But the thing is, the scarcity of them, you just can't get them. The difference between the Monkeys and the Beatles with collectibles, I actually like collecting a lot of Monkeys stuff. The reason being is the Monkeys were, let's say, from 66 to 69, and that was a shorter period career-wise than, let's say, as compared against the Beatles. So there was more merchandise put on the Beatles, let's say in 64, that was huge.
That's right.
And 66 it was huge for the Monkeys too.
Yeah.
But as I said, there's more scarcity in the Monkeys collectibles because they're not around.
Yeah.
That's
And because they're not around, there's a lot of collectors that are looking around for this stuff, and you've got to hang on to this stuff because there's a chance. Look, there's a lot of thievery around in this place, and some people actually try and steal your stuff out of it.
Wally, don't bend my comic, please. You're affecting the resale value. You're a customer. Please, keep your hands to yourself. You're not. Keep your hands off the merchandise.
Yeah. Well, if you can find these collectibles in a state like that, you want to purchase them because they're only going up in value. They won't be reproduced. The rights to this stuff is not available. You cannot reproduce this stuff. There's no way you can get the rights to it. The rights are gone.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's like the Corgi cars.
That's right, yeah.
You know, like the Batmobile and whatever, that's all gone.
Yeah, that's it. So, collectible cars, collectible Beatles memorabilia.
You know, we're going to become collectible soon, Wally. I mean, when we started with EPs, I had teeth.
Well,
and you had it.
Well, I think if you can find our original single, that's worth a bit of money because that came out limited.
Well, that was out in '81, and that was under the name of Plastic EP in the records.
That's right.
And that had the song "At Home" on it, and on the back had 3 special words, and there's only 500 printed of that, 45.
That's right. It's like the Beatles with the limited pressings of certain acetates of that. They become so rare and they're astronomical, the price of some of this memorabilia.
I'll just show you a little bit more on the Beatles. I don't want to show you too much because I've got quite a lot, but these ones I do like. Here's the Beatles souvenir film and song album.
Oh, that's a nice one.
From A Hard Day's Night.
And that's got the sheet music in it, hasn't it?
That's A Hard Day's Night, isn't it?
Yeah, Hard Day's Night, yes.
Beautiful. And that's in colour.
And the movie was black and white.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, there's some good shots there. And you've got some rare shots here.
When you take them out of the plastic, you actually see them better. So I think, look at that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That back photo, that's a rare photo because it looks like it's from the movie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's why we're probably shooting it.
That's right. Good photo, that. Good movie too.
Hey, it's even got the price here.
Yeah, that movie.
7.6, sorry. 7 shillings and
sixpence.
Yes, sixpence. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And here's another one. This is hard to find now. This is the 1966 Christmas Extra.
Oh.
It was 5 shillings. Look at that.
Oh wow,
I mean, I like that.
Yeah. And again, it's in very mint condition.
Yeah, that's right. That's in good condition.
Yeah.
It's got stories of them.
And a lot of colour pictures.
Colour pictures. Look at this.
Yeah.
On stage in 66.
Right.
So, you know, in 66, they stopped touring in 66.
That's right.
Because what happens is they stopped touring, then there was a void, then all of a sudden the Monkeys are on TV. Because they filled in that void of the teeny boppers, you know what I mean? Like they came in on the kids market.
Yeah. And as McCartney using that violin bass there, he only used it live appearances. I don't think he ever used it in the studio apart from the first two or three albums. I don't think it actually plays too well in the studio, but it's interesting. Love Me Do, if you listen to Love Me Do, it still holds up. It's a very great bass line, that. Yeah.
So that's that one, and now I've got something special again, which was hard to find. I mean, you'll find a lot of this on the net for sale. It's still around, but as I said, it's getting scarcer. This one is, the reason why I bought this one, Wally, was because this one says the official Beatles Yellow Submarine magazine.
Oh,
the official.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it says it's official.
Right. So I'll just see.
And look at this, even on the back, it's got an advert. The Beatles Yellow Submarine. Fantastic 20 pop art decorations for $1.
Oh,
look at that.
I'd like to have those decorations. They are fantastic.
You could put them on your fridge or in your room.
Yeah. Very ahead of their time. Good marketing.
Look at that, that's a bit psychedelic there.
Yeah. Looks very nice. And,
Look at that.
Yeah, and the cover of the period at the time when John Lennon appeared in that movie How I Won the War.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Very good colour drawings. Yeah, it's still a great movie to watch for a colour, and on a big plasma it looks really, really nice.
So we're still going. As I said, I've got a lot of collectibles that I've collected over the years, and I'm glad that we could actually share it.
Now there's a group I recognise.
Now, you know this is one of my favourite groups of all time,
Yeah.
but before I jump to that group,
Yeah.
I've got to show this, Wally. This was handed out at mobile service stations in Australia
Yes.
in '64.
Yeah, so it was no charge, they just handed
It was
out.
free, they just gave it out.
That's magnificent.
That's actually worth about $100 in Australia.
$100?
And that was for free.
Wow.
It says on the back there, Mobile was actually the ones that sell petrol.
Brilliant. Looks really nice.
Yeah. It says here, when their first recording was released, they were virtually unknown. Now, 1 year later, they are said to be earning at a rate of £6,250,000 a year.
That's amazing.
That's not bad for something from '64.
And then Mobile get their ad in by saying you get 5% more on the miles per gallon if you buy their petrol. Well, that's really good.
It's good now because we don't get anything.
Yeah, we don't get
the way it's going, a tank of petrol will be $300.
That's right. That's it.
All right, now this is my favourite group of all time.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love them. And that's the Monkeys. I grew up with the Monkeys, like you did, so you can appreciate it. I know at school, you used to go around the schoolyard doing monkey men.
Yeah, monkey men, getting dressed up, put a cape on and acting like the superhero that was in a few of the segments.
So these are some of the TV guides that came out here in Australia. That's from their first album. Of course, that's their first album, and that's used as a cover. And the great thing is this one here has actually got the Monkeys in Australia. So this is the edition that came out when they came in '68. So let's have a look.
Oh, okay. So
It's actually got the TV guide there as well.
well, the TV guide is fascinating. I mean, if you looked at what the programs are on,
And look at that. Look at that.
It's beautiful. Very nice.
From '68. That's the original one. You know they got that. That's actually the cover of Headquarters.
And was the monkey shows in that TV guide?
It must be somewhere there.
Yeah.
We're short of time, so I won't have time to look. But
It would have been on about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the daytime.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's good. The TV Times itself is a historical record of what shows. we
Of
used
course
to
it
watch.
is. And look at this. It goes, hey, here's great news for monkey fans. Your souvenir of an exciting Australian tour. There you go. And that's the magazine that you actually buy.
Have you ever seen that magazine?
I actually have that magazine.
Wow. So you've got the magazine as well?
Yeah, I've actually got that
That's
magazine.
fantastic. Now that would be a big collectible.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah. Price on these would be astronomical.
Have a look at that.
To find them in this nick,
You pay $1 and you get it. It tells you what you get.
that's fabulous. It's a great way to have
What's the date is? September 21st, 1968.
68.
And it was only 10 cents. Do you know when they came out here, they actually brought the Monkey Mobile with them, the original vehicle, but it actually never went back with them. And then I read about it on the net many years later. Somebody found it down in Mexico or something, didn't know what it was. It was used for a car for a hotel, and someone bought it and redid it.
That's right. I remember going to the show and going into the Batmobile, but when the Monkey Mobile came along, it was a little bit too pricey to go in there, and I don't think my dad wanted to pay the money to go into the tent, because actually it was a secluded tent, and no one else could go in there.
That's true.
Whereas the Batmobile was open to the public, so everybody could see it and take pictures. And then I think you paid a nominal fee to sit in the car and get a photo, but it was a little bit more pricey.
Well, I was actually one of those people that actually went and paid the money and went in the tent. You weren't allowed to take photos
That's right.
or touch the car.
That's okay, that's right.
And it was all low key. It wasn't like it was advertised from outside.
No, you didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's pretty amazing stuff there. All right, I'll just see what else I've got there. As I said, there's another 2 guides there.
Well, we've got plenty of time. I think we've got another 10 minutes to go.
We show them what we can.
Yeah, show them.
These are the other Australian TV guides.
Oh, that's really nice.
Now, what I like about these, this is an Australian songbook that came out here. This is the Souvenir Songbook album, and this is volume 2.
And all these souvenir songbook albums.
And this is the Australian Tour Souvenir Songbook.
Oh, that's
So since I'm talking about the Australian Tour, I may as well pull that out.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourites. I remember singing along to these songs, Wally, opening up all the pages, watching the TV show, and singing to every song. And there's a photo of them arriving at Sydney Airport by Qantas.
And when they toured, they actually played their own instruments, so it was proof that they could play their instruments. Probably not as good as what we thought, because most of their recordings were used by session musicians, but they still went out and they released albums that they played on. So
Well, Headquarters was the first album that they actually did themselves and played every note. And they were musicians, all right?
Yeah.
They're the only band, I reckon, to me personally, they've got to be the most ultimate entertainers, because not only did they have a TV show, Wally, they had to record at night.
Yeah.
They had to do everything. That's what's even more amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll just stop there. All right, now what we're going to talk about songbooks.
Yeah.
Now I've been collecting songbooks because, of course, we've got an interest in songs. Having written over 1,500 songs for the EPs. Yeah. This is one of my favourite songbooks because I know how rare it is. It's actually the Archie songbook, and their big hit, of course, #1 hit in '69 was Sugar Sugar.
That's right.
And that's one of my favourite songbooks because I know how hard that is to get.
Yeah.
That is hard.
That's a beautiful.
Look, the EPs. The Archie song album.
And it's got pictures in it too. That's the beauty about these.
It's got a comic book at the back.
It's got a comic book. Oh, that makes it even
taken
better.
out of the
Yeah.
Archie's comics.
Well, they were comic book.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Well, that looks really nice. And I don't think I've ever seen this one before.
No.
It's very nice.
That's rare. Okay, I'll just go through them. So that's one of my favourites. Okay, the Monkees songbooks. That's an American one.
Oh, the second album? Yep.
That's the second album, More of the Monkees.
Yep.
This one's Time Around the Piano, so people who've got a piano can do monkey songs.
Well, that's something we don't have any time anymore for.
That's another one. Well, that's right. Not many people play pianos, do they? And what about this one? I like this one.
Oh, look at it.
Learn to play like the Monkees play.
Oh, that's really good.
Look, a revolutionary new teaching method that will have you playing like the Monkees, and if you've never played before.
That's brilliant.
No knowledge of music required.
Well, let's face it, they didn't have any knowledge either, so you should be able to play pretty quick.
I like it how the Monkees were talking in the show, and they said, how do we come up with a drummer? And they said, well, they lined us up in a line. They said, we need a drummer, and 3 of them stood back, and Mickey Dolenz was standing there. They go, you're the drummer.
You're the drummer.
I like that line when David does that in the TV shows. He tells us that.
Was he a guitarist originally, was he?
No. Mickey Dolenz was actually a guitarist
guitarist
in a band called Missing Links.
That's right. So
before the Monkees. So how's that?
So he was a guitarist and then drafted into drumming.
That's another one.
That one from there.
Well, that's called the Monkees music book. Now, look at that. The Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. 8 hit songs. Brilliant. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Look at this. The Sensational Beatles Australasian Tour Souvenir album.
Oh, so when they toured, they put one out for them.
That's right. How's this one? I like this too.
Yeah.
Beatles 67.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that, they've grown their moustaches then.
This is we're getting into the psychedelic period.
Strawberry Fields stuff.
Yeah. And here's the classic psychedelic period.
Yeah, have you seen the songbook for that?
No.
For the magical, look at that. This is Magical Mystery Tour Souvenir song.
Like the shirts.
Album.
Like the shirts.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Now I've got some sheet music on their own.
Oh, very good.
Day Tripper.
Oh, very good. Good song. Now, this Day Tripper, I've just seen something recently that George Harrison actually played the bass. And they reckon, they haven't confirmed it yet, but his bass is up for auction. and it's a strange looking bass. I've never seen it, and they're saying that he actually played the bass on it, which I find it hard to believe, but who knows in those days.
Hey Jude,
Yep, very good.
P.S. I love you.
Not seen that one.
Here's another favourite of mine. Boyce and Hart, the guys that wrote all the monkey songs, gave them their monkey sound. And the amazing thing is they did that on I Dream of Jeannie TV show, remember that?
I remember that.
Sang about, how good's that?
That's when they were trying for Phil Spector. Yeah. Very good, he wanted a new sound. Yeah.
We won't go there.
Okay.
Alright. No milk today, Herman Service.
Oh yeah.
We used to get our milk delivered back in the 60s.
Yeah.
This is my favourite too, it's going to be alright.
Yeah, well,
Jerry and the Pacemakers,
oh, lovely.
D.W. Washburn.
Yep.
You know, the funny thing with the Monkeys, when they put this song out, they lost their original sound, and that's when they started losing their fans.
Well, that was a Coasters song, that one, so that was just a cover, Liebman Stolos.
That was volume 2.
Yeah.
Here's one of my all-time Mike Nesmith songs, all time.
I think I'd have to
Mary,
say that's
Mary.
my favourite song.
Mary, Mary. I love that song.
This song and the next song are two of my favourite Monkey songs.
I'm Not Your Stepping Stone by Boyce and Hart.
Yep.
Another great song.
Yeah.
Every garage band learns how to play that
Yeah.
song first before anything, don't
That's
they?
very true.
I'm a Believer.
Here's an L Diamond song.
That's right.
Very good.
Here we go. Partridge Family. I woke up in love this morning,
Wow, now we're hitting the 70s.
and then I woke up at night with a headache.
Yes. another male band.
We should put that out. I woke up at night with a headache.
Yeah. That's it.
Daydream Believer.
That's it.
When I'm 64. These are hard to get now, these ones.
Yeah.
You got to admit.
Well, in your outfits. Yeah.
With a little help from my friends. Here's another one I know you're going to really like, Wally. I've put it behind cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
Go out all over.
Oh, very good.
Dave Clark 5.
Yep.
Oh, here's one of my favourites. This is really hard to get, right? We're going back to the bubblegum era. Simon Says.
Oh.
Look at that. You haven't seen the sheet music for
No,
that.
I've never seen it.
And Yummy Yummy Yummy, the Higher Express.
These are the bubblegum bands. Very
Yeah.
good, yeah.
And that's obviously English sheet music because it's got 3
Yeah,
shillings
3
there.
shillings, yeah.
Or even that came out to Australia and we had shillings
Yeah,
there.
we had shillings, yeah.
So that could be right. But I mean, that's really hard
That'd
to
be
find.
66. That's interesting because 67, we're already in this.
Well, this one's 40 cents.
That makes
So that could
sense.
be English.
That could be
That could be
yeah.
English. But I mean, that's hard to get.
Yeah, because we were already in the decimal currency then.
That's really hard to get.
Yeah.
You know, here's one. All I have to do is dream.
Oh,
Everly Brothers.
Very good.
Last Train at Clarksville.
Now, what's that, a picture or sheet music?
Sheet music.
Sheet music, very
We're
good.
still going.